Yo, what's going on guys? I'm J Car Ray, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my tips for beginners in my Battlefield 1 beginners guide to help you guys out who just got the game or you just started playing Battlefield 1, and give you a few tips that will help you be a little bit better at the game, make you have a little bit of a better time shooting people in the World War One setting that is Battlefield 1. So my first tip is check out your controls and change them if you need to. I changed all my vehicle sticks options to legacy. In order to go and change your controls, you want to go to options, then you want to go to control scheme. And as I said, if you're familiar with most other games, then you probably want to change your control sticks to legacy, because the default Battlefield 1 controls or Battlefield controls in general are quite weird. In order to drive a vehicle, you need to use the left analog stick, and turning with the left analog stick is very unusual when you're used to basically turning the camera and moving your vehicle that way in most other games when you're driving or doing something of the sort. So yeah, I definitely suggest you change the vehicle sticks to legacy. I think you'll be much more comfortable with that if you're like me and you generally play other games in which are using vehicles. If you want to use these controls and get used to it, fair enough, but this will make it way easier for you, I guarantee it. Second tip is, if you pick the medic class, heal and revive your teammates. I can't believe the amount of medics that I see on the battlefield just shooting. And when someone's got low health, or even when they have low health, they're not putting down a med pack or a med box. I generally suggest the health packs, because they do refill your health way quicker, and you can just spam them and fling them down, and you can throw it at people who are far away. So it's pretty good to have the health packs, by the way. But I'll make an in-depth video on the medic class when I can. But definitely throw down the med packs. Throw them down at every opportunity. Always be throwing down the med packs. You have no reason not to. They're unlimited. And when you see someone downed, especially if they're in your squad, and especially if they're behind cover and you can get to them and the enemies around are dead, or you've killed the enemy that killed them, revive them. I see so many people just running past dead bodies. Or when I'm on the death screen, I see so many people, like so many medics 5 meters away but not coming to revive me. It's really frustrating, and definitely don't be that medic. Also, don't be the guy that gets shot and holds down X to skip to the deployment screen. There is no reason to do that. All that does is stop you from being revived. I guess it gives you, a few more seconds to look at the map if that's what you need, but it stops you from being able to get flung back in the action, and it doesn't make it any quicker for you to respawn. So don't think that that's what it's doing. Definitely stop that, because there's so many times where I've been a medic, I've been trying to do my job and revive people, and you see people just skipping into the deployment screen. But when you're a medic, if you see someone's kill icon or skull icon flashing, then that means that they're holding down the skip button. So don't go and risk your life for them. Don't try and revive them, because they're going to try and skip. But definitely, if you're a beginner and you're watching this video, don't skip the deployment. There's no need. Wait until the timer's up and then skip if no one's come to revive you. Now, my third tip is kind of like my previous tip, but it's use the gadgets that help your team out on all classes. For example, on the support class, you have the ammo pack. Definitely always throw those down. As with the medic class, there seems to be loads of people who have just started playing the Battlefield series, and they're picking up these classes like medic or support, and I need ammo or I need health, and they're not putting it down, and they're just standing there not doing anything, waiting for an enemy to eventually pop into their sights. Like, if you're engaging an enemy, I understand you're not going to be flinging down health for ammo, like that's fair enough. But if you're there, you're standing in a corner, you're waiting for an enemy to come around the corner, and I'm there with you, and I'm holding R1 and requesting ammo, requesting health, and you're not flinging it down, you're being a dickhead. Don't be a dickhead, right guys? So make sure you equip the gadgets that help your team. because you get so much score for using them that there's really no reason to equip anything else. For example, in the medic class, you should be equipping your health pack and your revive syringe. There's no reason to be equipping the launcher, the rifle launcher or whatever. That's not useful enough to take up your medic pack and your syringe, because you'll get way more points with that than you will using your rifle launcher or whatever. And yeah, so if you're in a support class, definitely be throwing down your ammo packs. If you're in a scout class, make sure you're using your spot flare. And if you're in an assault class, definitely be taking care of any vehicles that are giving your team trouble, because that is what... did I say assault? Yeah, if you're in an assault class, definitely be taking out any vehicles. That's what your class is built for. Now, my fifth tip, I think it's my fifth tip. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe fourth tip. I don't know. Fuck it. Basically, this is a team-based, objective-centric game. Stay with your team and play the objective. If you just want to kill people without worrying about objectives, play team deathmatch. Do not just stay somewhere that's nowhere near an objective and try and get kills. That's silly. Unless you're being a sniper and you're defending an objective, that's fair enough. Or you're trying to provide covering fire for your teammates who are trying to attack an objective. That's fair enough also. But make sure you're focused on getting the objective, because that's what you really need to do in this game. You need to go, if you're playing Conquest, you need to hold the majority of points and whatnot. So make sure that your mind is focused about getting those points and keeping those points and that sort of stuff, instead of just being like, I want to get 40 kills, or I want to hope my kill death ratio is really high and that sort of shit, because that's not what's going to help your team. And winning has a big bonus. Winning is worth way more than killing loads of people, because when you win, especially if you have a major win, all the experience that you got that match is times by 2.5, I think. Sometimes it might be times by 2, I don't know, but you get a lot of experience for that. So if you're helping out your team and your focus is helping out your team and getting objectives and whatnot, you're going to get way more points. Especially capping flags in Conquest gets you 500 points and above for neutralizing and then getting it and then making it yours. So you're gonna get loads of points for playing the objective, way more than not doing that, and way more than just getting kills, because kills, honestly, they're not going to get you that much points in comparison to actually capturing objectives. So definitely keep that in mind. My next tip is spot enemies. In order to spot on the PS4, you want to use R1, and that basically highlights that person on the mini-map for the rest of your team, and it also displays an icon above that person's head that lets you know what kind of soldier they are, which is very, very useful information. And that ties into my next tip, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. But knowing what kind of soldier you're facing is definitely a very, very useful piece of information. If you can get the kill, and you're definitely going to get the kill, don't waste time spotting. If you're really close and you're assault or whatever, and you just pass around a corner and you see this guy, shoot. Don't waste time trying to spot him. But if the person's at medium range or whatever and you're aiming down sights, I generally spot straight away, so that even if I lose, my enemies can take them out. I'll get the spot bonus for that. And also, if not my enemies, my teammates can take them out. And also, if I've got teammates around me, then spotting them will make them engage with that person also, if I need a little bit of help to take them out, if I'm missing or I'm not very accurate or whatever. So always spot when you can. It's very useful, because unlike Battlefield 4 and the Battlefields earlier, and maybe Call of Duty games, I don't know, I haven't played Call of Duty in a while, but when you shoot, you do not appear on the minimap. I think it's because due to it being World War One and that, you wouldn't have that sort of just information. I don't know, because, if you had someone shoot, you'd probably know kind of what direction they're coming from, but that's the way they're doing it in Battlefield 1. So just shooting an armor suppressed gun does not make you show up on the minimap, but also that would be really terrible if it did, because most of the guns are unsuppressed. You don't really have, I don't think there's any suppression options, to be honest. No, there's not. Like, some guns are called suppressive, but it's more for suppressive fire, not having a suppressor on there. So yeah, that's the mechanics. Definitely Spot is really useful for your team. And my next tip is play at the right range for your class. Now, what I mean by this is Assault is useful at close range. That is where you want to be with the Assault class, at close range encounters. With the Assault class, you get SMGs and shotguns. Those are great at short range. Mid range, they're mediocre. Long range, you're gonna die. Don't do it. Yeah, so stay away from long and medium range. With Assault, you want to be going from cover to cover real quick. You want to stay in tight spaces. You want to get real close to your enemy before shooting. Certain guns do have a alright medium mid range, but you're gonna get beat out by every other class at mid range. So I generally wouldn't go for it if you can help it. Medic class is good at medium range to far range. Not great at far range. I'm not saying duke it out with snipers. Definitely don't do that. But if someone is at a distance and you've got a scope or something and you can see them, then you might be able to deal a bit of damage. And you might be able to even take them out if they don't know that you're there. But if you're having a fight with a sniper, run away. Run away. Also, like, running away is a very feasible option in this game. Don't be afraid to run away. Staying alive is better than dying every time. So if you're in a bad gunfight, run away. And if you're playing support, that is I think it's best at medium range. It's not very good at close range. You can kind of lay down suppressive fire at far ranges, but you're not really going to consistently be taking out snipers and far range people with that. Medium range is where it really excels at, because you've got a bit of space between you and the enemy. If you're shooting an assault trooper at medium range, you're probably going to win. Remember, this game really does have a rock, paper, scissors type of class gameplay. That's why spotting enemies and knowing what class you're going up against is so important. For example, medics will be better up against assaults and basically assaults at medium range and far range, but assaults will destroy them in close range. And scouts will be good at killing assaults, okay at killing medics. They'll have the advantage over medics at far and the advantage over supports at far. At medium, medics kind of have the advantage. With a scout, it depends on how good you are, really. But if you're at the same skill, then I think the medic will win if you're both inaccurate. If you're both accurate, the sniper will win, because that's a one-shot headshot or one-shot kill. Is really quick to kill with snipers. Medics take a little bit longer. But yeah, scouts, you want to be fighting at medium to far ranges. You don't really want to be in close. That's not where you're going to be having a good time. If you're trying to fight assault guys, it's not working out. So yeah, make sure you keep these ranges in mind, because the weapons for those classes are designed around these ranges. So definitely don't try and go toe to toe with assaults when you're a medic. It's silly. So be sure to play your role, stay in your lane, stay in the right range. Next tip, always join a squad. Being in a squad allows you many opportunities to gain way more points than being by yourself. For example, healing your squad and providing support to your squad, for example, putting out an ammo pack or even suppressive fire, or getting an assist via someone who is in your squad, or someone finishing off your finishing off your kill that's in your squad will give you more points than just a normal teammate doing the same thing. So it's definitely worthwhile being in a squad. Also, if your squad leader is, issuing commands and stuff, then you'll be getting way more points than if you was not in a squad. If you are the squad leader, which you'll notice if you have a star next to your name, it's usually the top person in the squad with a star next to the name. then you should be always marking objectives. Definitely do that. And if your squad leader is not marking objectives, then impeach his ass. And in order to do that, you want to use the, I think it's called the mutiny feature. You want to hold R1, and then you want to request an order 3 times, and within a minute, I think you will become the squad leader. Now, next tip is use gas grenades and assault weapons for easy kills. Now, with the assault class, I generally like to go with my gas grenades because you get 2 of them. And I go with, I think it's the Automatico Trench. I'm not sure of the full name of the gun, but I know it's got Automatico in there, and it's the Automatico Trench. And that hip fire is crazy. So when you got gas, you fling it down, you put on your gas mask, and you know, if you have been playing the game a little bit, then you know that having a gas mask on means you cannot aim down sights. So if you throw gas in a highly contested area, then your enemy either has to put on a gas mask to stay in the area or run out of that area. So if your enemy is trying to stay in that area and they're using a gas mask, you with your gas mask on is generally going to outclass every other class except for assault. So if there's another assault guy in there, then you're gonna have a bit of competition. But if like there's medics in there and there's supports, then you're going to have the advantage because the assault weapons are for close quarters, and the hip fire is, I think, better than every other class as far as I know. So you'll be able to rack up a few kills that way. My next tip is, it's kind of a tip. You don't have to follow this, but it's good advice in my opinion. Don't use sniper rifles with more than a 4x scope, because using sniper rifles with any more magnification than that, like 5x, 6x, 8x, 10x, whatever, you'll end up having scope glint, which is like a flashlight that shines out of your face and says shoot me. Definitely you do not want that. You do not want to be perched in your sniper perch in the perfect position, taking out some guys, and then all of a sudden you're counter sniped because you got a flashlight coming at your face that says shoot me. Stay away from those. Learn how to scope in and take people out with the smaller scopes, because you'll have a way better advantage at staying inconspicuous and staying hidden than anyone who's using a scope with more magnification. Now the scopes with more magnification probably will make longer distance shots easier, but I really don't think it's worth the flashlight that you have coming at your face. But you can make the decision either way, I guess. It's not going to make or break your game. It might make things easier, but it might also make things harder. So, you know, make your own decisions. My next tip is also in relation to playing as the scout class and playing with snipers, but it could also apply to every other class. Don't constantly look down your scope, especially if you got like a 5x to 10x scope, because that means you're giving away your position every time you look down the scope. But even if you're not doing that and you don't have high magnification and you're not giving enough scope glint, then looking down your scope will put you at a high disadvantage, because you won't be able to see everything happening on the screen. Sometimes you just want to put your gun down, you want to canvas the environment, look around and see if you can see any little ants running across. You'll generally see a little ant running across, you bring up your scope, you see that it's a guy, it's probably a support gunner, he's trying to shoot at one of your buddies, bang bang, he's dead. Nice, lovely jubbly, do it like that. Don't keep your scope up, because it's really gonna not allow you to see everything that's going on. You're going to be tunnel visioned, you can get snuck up on from behind, you'll probably be getting stabbed in your back or rolled over and stabbed in your face. I think that's how the animation goes. It's terrible. You hate it's really it's really terrible when that happens. When you're shooting, you're having the time of your life, you're really trying to get up, like get a certain target, he's trying to move away and whatnot. You almost line the shot up and all of a sudden someone's rolling you over and stabbing you. It's fucking scary, to be honest. It makes you jump out your seat sometimes. So you definitely don't want that to happen to you. So be aware of your surroundings and whatnot. Next tip is take it slow in buildings and in cover. So if you're in a building and you're behind cover or whatever, then there's no reason to be sprinting around corners. Only thing that's gonna do is make you delay when you aim down sights, and allow people to have the advantage on you and get the drop on you when you're coming around corners. Especially if you think people are in that building, check your corners, then go in and move really slowly and, you know, cautiously. That's the best way to play this game. Don't run around, otherwise you'll be getting murdered left, right and center. Next tip is, if you're being shot at and you can't see an enemy, don't go prone. That is the silliest thing to do, especially if it's a sniper. I can't tell you how many times I've shot at someone, maybe I've got them or maybe I've just missed, and then they go to prone, and it makes it 100% easier to kill them, because you move so slow in prone, and it's just so easy to kill you, especially if you go prone and then you don't move. It's like, okay, that guy's there, bang, he's dead now. Don't do it. It's the worst thing to do. Instead, you want to run in a zigzag towards some cover or over a hill so that you can break the line of sight. Don't just run straight, because that's kind of like, if someone's a skilled sniper, they're going to make that shot. Make sure you zigzag it up and be very erratic with your movements. Try not to be predictable. Try to change it up. And that's generally how I get away from snipers and people trying to shoot at me from a little while away. You can generally get out of the way, recover your health, and get back to the action when you do that. Obviously, some people will get you. It happens. But yeah, those are my tips. If you want any in-depth videos for any of those tips I mentioned, or for something else, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to check out the rest of my Battlefield 1 tip videos, you can click on the playlist on the screen. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as I'll be putting out loads more Battlefield 1 tips and tricks. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.